I had always wanted a quiet place in the mountains, somewhere peaceful. Somewhere far away from crowded neighborhoods and HOA drama. That's why I bought the Old Forest Lodge. The property sat deep in the pine woods outside town. The cabin had been empty for years. Dust covered the furniture and leaves covered the porch, but the location was perfect. The realtor warned me the area had strange neighbors sometimes. I honestly didn't think much about it. I signed the paperwork anyway. The lodge officially became mine that same week. The first time I unlocked the front door felt incredible. Fresh mountain air filled the entire cabin. Sunlight came through the old wooden windows perfectly. Even my dog loved the place instantly. Over the next few days, I cleaned the lodge slowly. I repaired broken shelves and replaced old lights. The cabin finally started feeling alive again. Everything seemed peaceful at first. Then I met the woman from the neighboring property. She walked onto my land without even introducing herself properly. Immediately, she started asking questions about the lodge. Her attitude felt strangely aggressive, she claimed. The cabin had always belonged to the community. That statement confused me immediately because I had official ownership documents already. The property legally belonged to me. I politely ended the conversation and ignored the situation. Honestly, I assumed she was just eccentric. But over the next week, she kept showing up repeatedly, always watching the cabin closely. Eventually, I had to leave town briefly for work. Only for 2 days. I locked the lodge carefully before leaving, and I thought everything would be fine. When I returned, something felt wrong immediately. My dog started barking before we even reached the porch. Then I noticed the front door lock looked completely different. That's when my stomach dropped. Someone had changed my locks, on my own property. At first, I honestly thought I was seeing things, but the key no longer fit the door. I checked every window and entrance carefully. All the locks had been replaced. Then suddenly, the neighbor stepped outside holding new keys proudly, like she actually owned the place. She calmly told me the lodge belonged to the community association. Apparently, she believed empty properties automatically became shared property somehow. That's not remotely how ownership works, but she clearly believed her own story completely. I tried explaining the legal situation calmly. I even offered to show her the purchase documents. Instead of listening, she doubled down aggressively. She told me to leave her lodge immediately. At that point, I stopped arguing. There's no point debating property law with irrational people. So I pulled out my phone and called the police instead. Changed the mood very quickly. While we waited, she continued acting confident. She honestly believed the police would support her somehow. Meanwhile, I sat calmly on the porch beside my dog, because facts were on my side. About 20 minutes later, a patrol vehicle arrived. The officer walked up the cabin steps carefully. Both of us immediately started explaining the situation. And the difference in evidence became obvious fast. I handed over official property documents immediately. Purchase records, county registration, everything. The officer reviewed the paperwork carefully. Then he looked directly at the damaged lock on the door. That's when his expression changed completely. Now the situation became very serious. The woman suddenly started changing her story repeatedly. First, she claimed the cabin was abandoned. Then she claimed she was protecting the property. Then she blamed another neighbor entirely. None of it helped. The officer explained clearly that changing someone else's locks was illegal, especially on legally owned private property. That reality finally hit her hard. By sunset, the situation was over. The officer escorted her away from the property while she argued nonstop. Meanwhile, I finally unlocked my own cabin again. The entire situation felt unreal. The next morning, I installed stronger security cameras and brand new locks. After that, the neighborhood suddenly became much quieter. Apparently, word spread quickly through the mountain community. Nobody bothered the lodge again. Now every evening, I sit on the cabin porch with my dog peacefully. The forest stays quiet except for the wind through the trees. And honestly, that peaceful silence feels even better now. Because sometimes protecting your property means reminding people that ownership still matters. Like, subscribe to Care and Conflict, and comment where you're watching from.